Hello, welcome to Matrix Live. Ben here with Wilko from Pattle. How you doing?
Great. How are you?
Yeah, good. It's a bit warm here in London. Where in the world are you?
I'm in the Netherlands, northern parts, Groningen. It's kind of warm here too,
Okay.
actually.
But this is where you're studying. Have I got that right?
Yeah, I live here and I study here in the
Okay,
University of Groningen.
cool.
Yeah,
So
I
you
study philosophy actually.
study philosophy.
Yeah.
Oh, right. You're not doing a technical degree.
No, I mean I've done those courses in the past, but I'm doing philosophy now for like personal growth and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. I didn't know that. I just everybody I talk to is doing some sort of engineering degree. So
Yeah, I mean it's a good assumption.
it's the default. But
Yeah.
you must have done something technical before.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I'm not gonna explain the whole like Netherlands system, but it's like on a lower level. So I worked my way up to the university, and now I study philosophy at the university.
All right, that's really interesting. I mean, do you have a plan to do something like that for your work, or you make use of that for your work, or is it?
No, it's just really like out of interest. I mean, my work will just be programming stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, you can study whatever if you're going to do programming anyway. Um,
yeah, exactly.
um, all right. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about Pattle, which is, I guess, what most people in the Matrix ecosystem are going to know you from. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So how did you discover Matrix?
Mm, I think a few years ago through a friend,
Hmm.
uh, Nathan. He's also in the room of Pattle. And I think, yeah, I'm not sure how, but I really like the the idea of federation and
Hmm.
decentralization, those sort of things. And I tried riots, and it seemed to work pretty well. So I was pretty impressed at the start.
Cool. And what made you want to write your own client?
Yeah. So I tried riots, and it's a good client, I'd say. But what I thought was missing if Matrix wanted to become really popular on the general crowd.
Hmm.
In my mind, there should be an easier to use app, which is more like the more popular ones, such as WhatsApp, Telegram, Signal.
Yep.
So I thought it was missing from Riot in design. It's not that Riot has a bad design per se, but it has a different focus, more like team collaboration, those sort of things. And Battle's more for just a general purpose chat app, I'd say.
Yeah. No,
So
that's you've got that exactly right. Yeah.
yeah, so I think a year ago I started developing as a native app, Android native. I've done some rewrites, and so actually in the last half year, it's really started to took off.
Mm.
And then I had the last rewrite from native to Flutter, and that's where we're here now. So
So
yeah.
what made you decide to change from native? Because you were pure Android native before. What made
Yeah.
you choose to go to Flutter?
A few things actually, because the idea is for Pattle to deploy Android, but also iOS and a web version in the future. And Android native development is, yeah, it's not really a fun experience, I'd say.
Agreed.
I don't know, there's a lot of craft from the old days, and Flutter is just new, and it's very
Sorry, were you using Kotlin,
non-opinionated.
Kotlin or Java when you were still doing Android?
Yeah, it was Kotlin. So Kotlin made it actually a lot better to develop with.
For sure.
But even though you're using Kotlin, it's still Android, so it's still not that great. But Kotlin did make it a lot better.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
But Flutter is really non-opinionated. It's pretty new, so it's really way better to work with. And you get more platforms, iOS and Android, and in the future, with Project Hummingbird, I'd say, also web. So and desktop too, I think. So those are pretty exciting things. So
Yeah.
it's just one code base and multiple platforms.
Yeah, you get a lot for free. I mean, so tell me, when it comes to things like, because Android and iOS, fundamentally they have different, layouts and
Yeah.
does Flutter handle that kind of thing, or do you have to do?
I think you have to handle it yourself. So I think if I would just build the app as is on iOS, it would just look exactly the same.
Okay.
So look like a material design app.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is of course not what I'm going for, but that's just how it is right now.
Sure.
I think I need to build some abstraction somewhere to also allow for iOS UI. Because Flutter works with widgets, and now they're all material widgets. So how they look on Android and stuff. But you also have, I think, Cupertino, it's called, widgets, and those are like the iOS style.
Interesting. Okay.
So it's doable, but you have to do it manually. That's
Okay, that's interesting. I mean, that's the kind of thing that I would think that, the UI might be able to, or rather the build step might be able to handle. Maybe there will be sort of third-party build steps.
Maybe some reusable things, but some paradigms I think in the UI are very different. So I think it's better if you do it yourself.
Okay. So when did you make the switch? You said it was this year, I think.
This year. I'm not sure when actually.
It's quite a while ago.
Okay, look at the old repo, the new repository, like the first commit.
Yeah.
Where? Scroll down. March, 20th of March.
Oh wow, so that's not long at all. That's like only 2 months.
No, yeah. But that was the app, so maybe the SDK I built first, let's say. So maybe a bit older than that, but this year, yeah.
Sure. Yeah. It's not that long at all. So what that means is that you can make really good progress using Flutter.
Definitely, yeah. It's a lot quicker to work with too. So it's easy to learn, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. And what about Dart? Because I mean, I'm interested in Dart, but Google centric.
Yeah, Dart. It's I'd say it's a boring language because it does things as you'd expect. They don't have very exciting features.
Okay.
In comparison to Kotlin, I'd say that Kotlin as a language is better. Okay. But because of the Flutter ecosystem, it's fine to work with Dart. It's not bad. It's not that special. It's just an okay language.
Yeah.
It works.
I mean, it had to be incredibly, what we'd say, middle of road, because Google wanted it to be their browser language, and it didn't become that. But it had to be incredibly neutral, boring.
I think you see that in the language design. Yeah. But it's easy to work with, so it just looks like any other, C-based language, I guess. It's very inspired by anything that exists today.
And what about recent progress? What have you done recently on the project?
Well, this week I'm working on display names.
Okay,
mostly,
great.
Because before I was just kind of lazy with display names. I would just save the most recent display name and then show that.
Okay.
What I'm now trying to do is, as Riot does as well, save the display name as they were when the message was sent. So you have like a timeline of state.
Yes.
And what also was before this, because Riot displays in every room that your display name is changed or your avatar is changed.
Yep, it does.
Which I was not really a fan of.
No.
So I was really I think that's also, one of the challenges of creating this app is, see how Matrix does it or how it works in the spec, and then see how I can implement it in a user-friendly way.
Interesting.
And I think this was one of those cases. So I decided to not show messages when display names are changed. But what I'm trying to do now is when the display name is changed, there's no message. But when you send a new message, it will say your new display name and then previously called such.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So so it's a different approach from most clients, I'd say.
So Riot is very much taken from IRC. That's the sort of lineage.
Yeah. Okay. And I think I appreciate it too, like as a technical user and whatever. So it's very clear, like they changed the display name. Yeah.
So it looks great. I wonder if I can actually show it. It doesn't look like. It looks fun. I mean, it looks like a really fun client. It's a lot more accessible than Riot.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Cool. And finally, then, what's the roadmap for Pattle?
So there was interesting development because I was approached by a company which also uses Matrix to develop a social media app. And they wanted to work on iOS stuff. So I've ordered actually a MacBook today. so I can in the future work on iOS.
Fab. Okay.
So somewhere in the future, not giving any dates, there might be an actual, iOS version.
And
That's pretty
are they going to fund this? Are they going to work with you on this?
Yeah, well, so I'm going to work for them on a separate app, but maybe my SDK is used or Pattle as a base.
Yeah, yeah.
But still figuring out some details on how this is going to work.
Of course.
But
I mean,
yeah, that's pretty exciting.
If you could use the same code base to generate the open source and the
exactly. I mean, if more people work on it and stuff, it's pretty great.
Exciting. Congratulations, I should say.
Yeah, thanks. And I think in general, I'm really just working on the timeline right now. So rendering every message correct. I think files and location and stuff like that still need to be done. After that, I'd say settings of the app, maybe a dark mode, something a lot of people ask. What more? Creating chats, obviously, and of course, in the end, end-to-end encryption, which might be interesting because Dart has like this foreign function interface, so you can like interface with C directly. So I could maybe use lib-on directly.
Yeah.
But those are still, gotta look at that, how I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to figure out bindings for that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think most people are waiting for end-to-end encryption.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, the thing is, as soon as that gets everywhere, then Matrix as an ecosystem becomes a lot more appealing to
exactly.
a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I mean, I put a note here to ask you about what other projects, but I guess between this new contract situation, and possibly you're not done with university yet either, is that right?
No, not done. But I don't have any classes right now, so I have a lot of free time. So I start again in September.
Oh, wow.
So that's why I can work on the other project. So that's pretty cool.
Wow. So you've got a pretty great summer planned with this thing.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Wilko. Any other comments for Matrix Live?
No, not so. No.
Okay, no problem. All right, thank you for chatting to me today.
Yeah, great.
Right.
Thanks.
All right, thanks now. Bye-bye.
You.